I like when it gets dented. If I had something new, every time it got dented, I would have an aneurysm. Everything around, this is why we can never have anything nice, but honestly, this van is a wonderful vehicle. I really love it. Whatever time you think it's going to take to do a job on a vehicle this old, you need to multiply it by maybe 3 or 4 times. And hey, if you get done early, great. You can go and watch TV. Love your vehicle. If you don't love your vehicle, go and find something that you love. Go on Facebook Marketplace and scroll. Pick the vehicles within 100 miles. Find the thing that makes your heart go pitter-patter, the thing that you love, the thing that you're going to want to get into every day, the thing that you're going to be happy when you get in the garage and you have time to wrench with it, lovingly have time and wrench with it. If you don't feel that way about your vehicle, then you're doing it wrong. Today, I just wanted to quickly touch on an important topic when you're dealing with older vehicles. If you're planning on traveling or towing or just daily driving a vehicle this old, this is a 1999 model van with nearly 200,000 miles on it, you really want it to be front to back serviceable. What does that mean? On a vehicle this old, can it be serviceable? And the answer is absolutely. And how do you do that? Well, everything has to be able to move. You may need to replace parts. You may just need to take things apart, clean them, lubricate them properly, and put them back together. It needs to be inspected from one end to the other. This takes a lot of shop time. You don't have to really dig into much that is beyond the ability of someone who has a normal amount of mechanical aptitude. You need to be able to freely turn the lug nuts, take the wheels off, clean and adjust drum brakes or hardware. Nothing can be leaking. You need your brake lines to not be swollen or rusty. If something is bad, it needs to come off. And a lot of times, older systems like hydraulic systems can really be a can of worms. If a brake line pops and the system is not serviceable, that means all of the bleeders must be able to be opened freely. So, if that can't happen, you're going to need to invest some time and money. A lot of people say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, but this is how you get stranded. If my van breaks down anywhere, I can go to an auto parts store and work on anything on this van. The bolts will turn because they've been turned. I've taken them off. I brush them with a brush. I put some anti-seize or Loctite or whatever they need. Put them back together. I'll spray paint things that need sealed so that they aren't exposed to the weather. And everything that I do on the van takes longer because I dig into things. I really take the extra time to look at, when I have this wheel off to work on the brakes, I say, well, what else is here? Because it's my van. It's not someone, it doesn't even usually cost a whole lot more. It's just time. This van is the vehicle for me right now. It serves a lot of purposes for me. There's some times when I wish I had something that got a little better gas mileage, but you know what? I don't. Nothing else works for me. This is the thing, Fix it before it breaks. Fix it in the shop instead of getting it towed to the shop. Fix it at home. Take your time with it. The problem is if this wheel is not ready and something fails on the other side, you're going to be over here because you got to bleed the whole system. I'm talking about brakes, but I'm talking about everything. Wherever you do, just make sure everything attached to it is good too. So if you have to come back and work on it again, which on vehicles this old, if you're going to put them into service, you're going to be back working on it again. Unless you plan on just getting rid of it, and then that's up to you. But if you plan on keeping it, if you plan on using it, you better just expect to be back into that wheel, back into that motor. The only thing I've taken apart as far as the inside of this motor is I pulled the spark plugs out. And I read the spark plugs, and I love it. I was like so relieved. It's serviceable. I took the spark plugs out, and they all read the same. That means that there's no intake manifold or horrific vacuum leaks. There's no problems with the fuel injector system causing imbalances. The engine's running good. Put oil in it, keep oil in it. It leaks a little. Keep oil in it, and when something goes wrong, I know where to look, and I know that I can take the spark plugs out and things like that. Now, if I have to take the exhaust manifolds off, I know they're going to snap off in the head. So, there's some things that aren't serviceable 100%. We'll get there. Transmission's serviceable. I had to take the transmission tail shaft housing off. That means I took the drive shaft out. When I took the drive shaft out, cleaned everything. All the little bits and bobs, cleaned them real good, lubricated them properly. So when they went back together, if I have any problems with the drive line from the front of the rear end all the way to the transmission itself, it's all been cleaned, properly lubricated, reassembled with, it works. It doesn't leak at all. I love it. Oh my God, I got the van for a song because the transmission was leaking all the fluid out and then not working. And they were like, oh, we need a new transmission. It's like, well, I got a transmission housing. That cost me $100 and then my time. And was it dicey? Yes. Do I like to open up a transmission? Go back and watch that video where there's 4 videos where I'm screwing with the transmission. I didn't know if I'd ever get this thing back together. It runs good. I worry that they probably put a little more wear and tear on the transmission. Trying to shift with no fluid, driving around with no fluid, probably bad for it. It doesn't seem much worse for the wear. I've taken it to Baltimore and back twice, and the fluid's, pink. It shifts the gears, so I got lucky. I really did. With 200,000 miles, I swear that's all original in this van. So that's commercial. Way to go, Ford. Good job. It's hard to find a garage that's big enough to service it in around here in the city. But that's not a forever thing. And, maybe someday we'll have to trade her in for something that's not as rusty. I don't know. Nah, we can fix it.